Today, we're diving straight into the unseen cellular magic of working out, and honestly solving a pretty fascinating medical mystery along the way. Now, we all know hitting the gym or going for a run is good for us, right? But today, we're looking way past those surface-level benefits. We're going to explore the microscopic pathways that literally transform our cardiovascular health. So let's get into the data, map out these cellular processes, and figure out exactly what's going on inside your blood vessels the second you break a sweat.
To wrap our heads around this mystery, we first got to look at what we already track. When we talk about the perks of exercise, we're usually pointing to the classics: lowered cholesterol, decreased blood pressure, dropping a few pounds, maybe better blood sugar control. But here is the kicker. A massive statistical analysis looking at over 27,000 subjects revealed something absolutely wild. Those traditional metrics, they only account for at most 59% of the actual cardiovascular risk reduction we get from exercising.
So what on earth explains the other 41%? This is where things get really fascinating. This glaring gap in the data leaves us with a huge medical mystery. What exactly is happening inside our bodies to give us that remaining 41% of cardiovascular protection? Because if it's not just about losing weight or dropping your cholesterol by a few points, well, there has to be a direct physiological mechanism at work right there within the blood vessels themselves.
Enter the missing suspect in our mystery, a remarkable little molecule called nitric oxide, or NO. Now, nitric oxide is a gas naturally produced by your own body, and its main gig? It directly conditions your vascular wall. We're not just talking about some passive byproduct of being healthy here. NO is a highly active, powerful agent that delivers widespread systemic protection to your entire heart. It triggers this restorative process called vascular conditioning, which fundamentally rewires how your arteries operate.
All right, let's break down exactly how this plays out. I want you to think of your blood vessels like a highly responsive 24/7 pharmacy. Step 1, you start exercising, your heart pumps harder and blood flow ramps up. Step 2, all that rushing blood creates actual physical friction, a mechanical force we call shear stress, right against the inner lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium. Step 3, that specific friction is the exact trigger your endothelium needs to dispense the nitric oxide. And finally, step 4, boom. The NO causes your arteries to instantly dilate, improving blood flow, and over time, they actually structurally remodel to become wider and way more compliant. This right here brilliantly highlights the difference between modern medicine and what our bodies can do naturally. Clinical studies have actually compared typical cardiac interventions, like putting in a stent, directly against exercise training. Now, obviously, stents are lifesavers, but they're really just palliative for a short, specific segment of a diseased artery. Exercise, on the other hand, is a systemic treatment. Because of that shear stress and nitric oxide production, working out exerts protective, plaque-preventing effects across your entire arterial bed, all at once. It's the whole shebang.
So physical exercise and that muscle contraction spark the initial NO production, right? But the magic doesn't stop at the blood vessel wall. That nitric oxide cascades down, interacting directly with the whole network of metabolic sensors, like AMPK, and communicates straight to your mitochondria. It's this incredibly beautiful, complex interplay. The purely mechanical act of moving your body gets translated into a biochemical signal that alters your cellular metabolism from the ground up.
Let's zoom in a little closer, right down into the muscle itself. Down here, nitric oxide is basically the master regulator. First off, it induces mitochondrial biogenesis. That's just a fancy way of saying it literally multiplies the energy factories inside your cells. It also acts like a thermostat, controlling how those mitochondria consume oxygen. Remember AMPK? NO teams up with it to keep your metabolism humming. And on top of all that, it kicks off the release of myokines. These are proteins that promote tissue repair and angiogenesis, which is the growth of brand new, healthy blood vessels. Pretty incredible, right?
Now, because NO is such a foundational, ground-level molecule, its benefits ripple out across all sorts of pathologies. Take diabetes, for example. Exercise-induced NO actually improves glycemic control and helps clear glucose from the blood faster. For folks with chronic heart failure, this training directly improves oxygenation and metabolism right inside the skeletal muscle. And get this, in models of degenerative diseases like muscular dystrophy, treatments that donate NO to the body have been shown to boost grip strength and seriously cut down on inflammation. It's a total game changer.
So here is the crucial takeaway. Exercise isn't just about managing the outward symptoms of poor health. Through these exact nitric oxide pathways, physical activity physically restores the endothelial function in our blood vessels. It's literally repairing the machinery. It improves how your vascular system handles oxidative stress and how well it delivers oxygen to your tissues. And you guessed it, that is the missing 41% of cardiovascular risk reduction right there.
Optimizing your routine, translating no science into action. Okay, so now that we've got a handle on the underlying vascular science, how do we actually apply this to specific workout routines and different populations? Let's look at a demographic that often faces higher cardiovascular risks: older adults with intellectual disabilities. Researchers actually compared two different exercise setups for this group: sprint interval training versus continuous aerobic training. The results? Both modalities were highly effective. They both significantly improved peak oxygen uptake and overall power output. So whether you're doing short, intense bursts or just a steady, continuous jog, you are successfully turning on those vascular pathways and lowering that cardiovascular risk.
But hey, it's not all about aerobic cardio either. When we pivot to muscular conditioning, the data is just as compelling. A study looked at adults who simply met the standard national guidelines for muscle strengthening activities, and they found something huge. Meeting those baseline guidelines directly translated to significantly lower body fat percentages and, more importantly, a lower visceral fat area in both men and women. By challenging your muscles, you're leveraging those exact metabolic and cellular pathways we just talked about to clear out that dangerous, metabolically active fat.
This science even spills over into intense occupational performance, like structural firefighters. For these folks, their lives literally depend on their self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBA. Now, research shows that a firefighter's ventilatory threshold, which is the point during a workout where your breathing rate suddenly spikes, is highly variable. And interestingly enough, this threshold has nothing to do with age, height, or BMI. Since a lot of firefighters have to work at intensities way past their threshold while on the job, they burn through their air tanks faster. The science tells us that specific training to improve both peak oxygen uptake and that ventilatory threshold is the exact right way to extend how long their air lasts in the field.
We also have to factor in biological cycles because they play a massive role in how our bodies harness oxygen and recover. Some recent data focusing on recreationally active women found that the menstrual cycle directly impacts skeletal muscle oxygenation. Specifically, during the high hormone phase of the cycle, muscle oxygenation is actually impaired during the recovery period right after high-intensity interval training. But, and this is key, it's not impaired during the exercise itself. This points to a really crucial optimization. Your performance stays steady during the workout, but your body is practically begging for extended or enhanced recovery protocols during that specific hormonal phase.
Finally, if we're going to effectively harness all these biological adaptations, whether your goal is losing fat, building muscle, or just getting better vascular health, we absolutely have to make sure our baseline metrics are accurate. A recent deep dive showed that standard, widely used equations for predicting resting metabolic rate are actually pretty flawed for certain demographics. For example, they consistently overestimate the energy needs for premenopausal African American women by hundreds of calories a day. If your baseline equation overestimates your metabolic rate, your energy deficits are going to be way too small, making weight loss interventions super frustrating and far less effective. Accuracy is everything, guys.
Wow. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this explainer. We've cracked the mystery of that missing 41%, revealing how the physical sheer stress of a workout triggers the systemic healing magic of nitric oxide. We've seen exactly how this one little molecule remodels your arteries, multiplies your cellular energy, and how different people can tweak their training to optimize these biological pathways. Which leaves us with one final, absolutely vital question to think about. If exercise is the ultimate pharmacy, capable of dispensing custom systemic medicine straight into your bloodstream, are you filling your prescription?